Most people set goals because they want to get something, a car, a house, a promotion, more money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the deeper truth is this: goals aren't about getting, they're about becoming. The greatest value of a goal is not the thing you receive at the end, it's the person you become while reaching for it. Every meaningful goal is a personal transformation plan in disguise. When you set a goal, you're not just deciding what you want. You're deciding who you're willing to become to earn it. The process between the start and the finish line is what builds your strength, character, and wisdom. The climb is what shapes you. A mountain is not conquered when you stand at the top. It's conquered when you grow the strength, courage, and persistence to make the climb possible. That's why setting goals that stretch you is so essential. If your goals don't demand more from you than your current self can give, you'll never unlock the next version of yourself. Think about it. When you set a small goal, you may achieve it easily, but you remain the same person. When you set a big, stretching goal, one that requires new habits, deeper focus, and consistent discipline, you evolve. The act of striving for something just beyond your current reach forces you to think differently, act differently, and live differently. That's growth. And growth is the real treasure behind every dream. The mistake many people make is believing that success is measured by what they get. But success is not about accumulation. It's about transformation. You can lose things, money, possessions, positions, but you can never lose who you become in the process. A goal reached through growth gives you skills, confidence, and perspective that last far beyond the achievement itself. Jim Rohn once said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." That single line captures the essence of growth-oriented goals. The value isn't in making life easier, it's in becoming stronger. When you set a goal that stretches you, you're not praying for comfort, you're choosing growth. You're inviting challenge, you're saying, "I'm ready to meet a better version of myself." And when you think that way, every obstacle becomes a lesson instead of a limitation. You see, goals that stretch you demand personal responsibility. They make you accountable to yourself. They force you to manage your time better, think more strategically, and take action even when it's uncomfortable. You begin to adopt habits that serve your higher purpose rather than your momentary feelings. And that's how people grow from ordinary to extraordinary, not overnight, but through consistent, uncomfortable growth. There's something beautiful that happens when you chase a challenging goal. You begin to see what you're truly capable of. You learn that you can endure more than you thought, think sharper than you imagined, and rise higher than you expected. The journey toward your goal becomes a mirror that shows you your potential. Every step forward reveals strength you didn't know existed. That's the reward. And yes, the goal matters, the achievement matters, but not as much as the transformation behind it. You could remove the goal itself and still come out richer in courage, wiser in perspective, and stronger in willpower. That's why people who set and achieve great goals rarely stop there. They set another, because it's not the finish line they're addicted to, it's the growth. So, as you set your next goal, don't ask, "What will I get?" Ask instead, "Who will I become?" Because if the person you are becoming is greater, wiser, and more capable, then even if you fall short of the exact target, you still win. You've grown, and growth is the ultimate victory. Goals are the blueprint for becoming. They stretch your faith, test your endurance, and reveal your potential. When you reach one, you'll find the true joy isn't in the trophy. It's in the transformation. The prize fades, but the person remains. You become someone who can set new goals, take on new challenges, and live with a deeper sense of purpose and confidence. So don't chase goals only for the reward. Chase them for the person you must become to earn that reward. Because in the end, you don't really get your goals, you grow into them. And when you do, you'll realize the real success was never about getting. It was always about becoming. A goal should challenge you, not crush you. It should make you stretch, but not snap. It should demand more from you, but not destroy your spirit. That's the secret to powerful growth, finding the fine balance between what's comfortable and what's possible. Because comfort is where dreams go to sleep, but impossibility is where motivation dies. The real magic lies right in the middle, in the place where your goal makes you nervous and excited at the same time. Too many people set goals that are too small. They only aim for what feels safe, predictable, and certain. But the problem with easy goals is that they don't pull you forward. They let you stay the same. And life rewards growth, not stagnation. When your goals require no new effort, no new skills, and no new mindset, they don't really move you closer to your potential. They simply keep you busy in a small circle of repetition. But on the other hand, some people set goals so big, so out of reach, that they paralyze themselves. They talk about making $1 million next month when they haven't yet earned a consistent income. They talk about transforming their life overnight, and when reality hits, they lose faith and give up completely. That's not ambition, that's impatience disguised as vision. A goal that crushes you is one that makes you feel defeated before you even begin. The real art of goal setting is to choose a challenge that stretches you just enough to force growth, but not enough to cause collapse. If you currently earn $1,000 in a month, aim for $2,000. When you reach that, stretch to $5,000. Each new level builds your confidence and skill set, and soon, what once felt impossible starts to feel normal. Growth is like exercise. If you lift weights that are too light, you don't build strength. If you lift weights that are too heavy, you get injured. Progress happens when you lift what's slightly beyond your comfort zone. A goal that challenges you activates new energy. It makes you think differently, plan differently, and act differently. You start waking up earlier, working smarter, and surrounding yourself with better influences. You stop wasting time on trivial things because your goal now demands focus. And that's where transformation begins, in the process of chasing something meaningful enough to change who you are. Jim Rohn once said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." That's the essence of a goal that stretches you. When you aim for something greater than your current capacity, you're forced to become a better version of yourself. You learn new skills, develop new habits, and expand your mindset to handle new responsibilities. The goal doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. It's also important to remember that growth takes time. You can't rush maturity, and you can't skip the seasons of development. Every challenging goal comes with its own tests. You'll face resistance, doubt, and even fear. But that's part of the process. Each obstacle you face is designed to strengthen your resilience. The pressure you feel isn't there to crush you. It's there to shape you. Diamonds are created under pressure, not in comfort. And when you finally reach that goal, something powerful happens. You realize that the greatest reward isn't the result, it's the person you had to become to achieve it. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, and the small victories, they all mold you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. The prize fades, but the growth remains forever. So when you set your next goal, don't play it safe. Don't choose what's easy just because you fear failure. And don't choose what's unrealistic just because you crave quick success. Choose something right between the two. Something that makes you stretch, sweat, and believe a little harder than before. Choose a goal that requires your best effort, but rewards you with your best self. A goal should challenge you, not crush you. It should push you to the edge of your abilities, where you discover strength you didn't know you had. Because every time you conquer a goal that once scared you, your world expands. And little by little, you start realizing that you were never chasing the goal. The goal was chasing the greatness inside you. Clarity creates power. When you know exactly what you want, every action begins to align with purpose. Most people wander through life with vague wishes. They want more money, a better life, or to be happier. But the universe doesn't respond to vague. It responds to vision. Clarity is the magnet that pulls ideas, people, and opportunities towards you. Without it, energy is wasted, time is scattered, and progress is slow. With it, you move with precision and direction. The moment you get clear about what you want, you awaken something inside you. Your mind begins to filter information differently. You start seeing chances where others see confusion. Clarity activates focus, and focus creates momentum. A clear goal tells your brain, this is what matters. And from that moment on, everything else becomes secondary. That's when distractions lose their power over you. You no longer chase everything. You pursue one thing with intensity. Jim Rohn used to say, "Don't start your day until you finish it on paper." That means decide in advance what kind of life you want, what kind of person you must become, and what kind of habits you will need to build it. Writing down your goals sharpens your vision. It's like polishing a lens that helps you see your future with absolute sharpness. A clear vision doesn't just give direction, it gives discipline. When you know where you're going, saying no becomes easier because you're saying yes to something higher. People who lack clarity drift. They wake up reacting to life instead of designing it. They move from one distraction to another, wondering why progress feels slow and success feels far away. But those who possess clarity live by design, not by default. They have a blueprint, a mental map that directs their daily effort towards something meaningful. Even when they fail forward because they know exactly what they are moving toward. Clarity also creates confidence. When your path is clear, doubt loses its grip. You stop second guessing yourself because you've already made the decision. You might not have all the answers, but you know your direction, and that direction gives you power. The clearer your goals, the more energy you can channel into them. Confusion drains energy, clarity multiplies it. Imagine an archer aiming at a blurred target. No matter how skilled, he'll miss more than he hits. But give him a sharp, visible target, and suddenly every shot becomes purposeful. Life works the same way. You can't hit a target you can't see. That's why clarity must come before strategy. Don't rush into action before defining your aim. Spend time thinking deeply about what truly matters to you, not what impresses others, not what the world expects, but what brings you alive. Once you know that, your goals take on a new level of meaning. A clear purpose makes even hard work feel lighter. It fuels persistence. When you face obstacles, clarity reminds you why you started. It whispers, "Keep going. This is who you're becoming." And that's when your strength grows, because when your why is clear, the how finds a way. Clarity also creates alignment. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions begin to move in the same direction. That's when life starts to flow instead of fight you. You make better decisions because every choice is measured against your purpose. You stop wasting effort on things that don't matter, and you start investing in things that do. This kind of alignment is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. But remember, clarity doesn't come from thinking once. It comes from refining constantly. Life changes, seasons shift, and so must your focus. Review your goals regularly. Ask yourself, is this still what I truly want? Is this still the path that excites me? Clarity is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice. The clearer you get, the more power you hold. So take time to sit in silence, to reflect, to write, to imagine. Don't be afraid to be specific about your dreams. If you want success, define it. If you want peace, describe it. If you want freedom, measure what it looks like. Because clarity turns invisible desires into visible targets. And when you can see it, you can move toward it. Clarity is not just about goals. It's about identity. Who do you want to be in 5 years? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? When those answers are clear, your daily habits transform. You stop wasting time on temporary pleasures and start investing in permanent progress. Every step becomes meaningful because every step moves you closer to the vision you've chosen. In the end, clarity creates power because it removes confusion, fuels focus, and strengthens conviction. It gives you direction when the world tries to distract you. It reminds you that your dreams are worth chasing and that you were never meant to drift. You were meant to design. When your vision is clear, your path opens. And when your path opens, life begins to flow with purpose, confidence, and unstoppable energy. When you write something down, you give it life. You move it from the realm of imagination into the world of reality. A written goal is no longer a fleeting thought. It's a declaration, a promise, a commitment. Most people keep their dreams floating in their minds, hoping that someday things will just work out. But someday is not a day on the calendar. Those who achieve more know the secret if it matters. Write it down, because writing is the first step toward making it real. When you put pen to paper, you do something powerful. You engage the mind, the heart, and the will. You translate emotion into tension and intention into focus. The moment you write a goal, your brain begins to organize ideas, seek patterns, and find ways to make it happen. It's almost as if your subconscious mind says, "Finally, we have orders." From that point on, life begins to align in surprising ways, opportunities appear, and energy starts to flow toward that goal. Jim Rohn often said, "Don't just think it, ink it," because thinking is easy to forget, but writing is hard to ignore. Words on a page have weight. They stare back at you, challenge you, remind you of what you said you wanted to do. A written goal holds you accountable. It whispers to you in the morning when you're tired and at night when you want to give up. It becomes your silent coach, pushing you to stay consistent. When you write down your goals, something changes in your attitude. You start to take yourself seriously. It's no longer just talk, it's a commitment. You begin to see yourself as someone who acts with purpose. It's like drawing a line in the sand and saying, "This is what I'm after." You no longer drift with the wind because your direction is clear. People without written goals often wake up each day unsure of what to do. They respond to circumstances instead of creating them. But people who write their goals take charge. They live by design, not by default. Writing it down also creates clarity. You might think you know what you want until you try to write it. Then suddenly, you realize you weren't specific enough. "I want to be successful" is not a goal, it's a wish. "I will earn 100,000 this year through my business by helping 200 clients improve their health" is a goal. Clarity breeds confidence, and confidence leads to action. When you're clear about what you want, you start to recognize the steps needed to get there. Another power of writing goals is that it builds faith. It's a bold act to take a dream from your heart and put it on paper. It's saying, "I believe this can happen." It's not arrogance, it's confidence in your potential. And faith is the starting point of all achievement. When you write your goals, you begin to visualize them more vividly. You start to imagine the details, the feelings, the results. Visualization then fuels motivation, and motivation drives movement. But don't stop at writing once. Keep your goals visible. Place them where you can see them daily, on your wall, your desk, your mirror. Read them every morning before you start your day and every night before you sleep. Repetition turns goals into beliefs and beliefs into reality. The more your mind sees it, the more it believes it's possible. Your subconscious starts to act like a magnet, drawing resources, people, and ideas that match your written vision. Writing goals also helps you track progress. Over time, you can look back and see how far you've come. You can refine your vision, adjust your strategies, and celebrate small victories. Success is rarely one giant leap. It's a series of small steps taken in the same direction. Writing helps you measure those steps. It reminds you that progress, even slow, is still progress. So the next time you feel inspired or dream of something big, don't let it fade away into the noise of daily life. Capture it on paper. Turn your inspiration into ink. Don't underestimate the power of a notebook, a pen, and a determined mind. Many fortunes, inventions, and empires began with a simple written idea. Remember, the difference between a dreamer and an achiever is discipline, and the first act of discipline is writing it down. So write it boldly. Write it clearly. Write it as if your future depends on it, because it does. When you write it down, you give your dream structure, you give your goals power, you make it real. Every dream worth chasing comes with obstacles built into the journey. They're not accidents, not punishments, not signs that you should give up. They are part of the design. Every obstacle is a test, a teacher, and a turning point. The sooner you accept that challenges are built into the plan, the faster you'll grow, the stronger you'll become, and the closer you'll move toward the life you were meant to live. Most people want the victory without the struggle. They want the harvest without the hard work, the reward without the resistance. But that's not how success works. The universe doesn't hand greatness to anyone on a silver platter. It demands proof that you're ready, proof that you can handle the weight of your own potential. And the proof comes in the form of obstacles. When you set a goal that truly stretches you, you can expect resistance to show up. It might come as self-doubt, fear, failure, or delay. It might come from critics or from life testing your patience. But each obstacle is there to refine you, not to defeat you. The obstacle is not in the way. The obstacle is the way. It's the path you must travel to earn your future. You see, growth never happens in comfort. Comfort zones are beautiful, but nothing grows there. Obstacles push you out of the soft soil of comfort into the tough ground where character is built. They force you to think differently, act boldly, and believe more deeply. Without obstacles, you would never discover the strength, creativity, and resilience that's already within you. I've learned that every challenge hides a gift. Sometimes the gift is wisdom. Sometimes it's humility. Sometimes it's strength. But the gift always comes if you stay long enough to receive it. Most people quit right before they unwrap it. They give up when things get tough, not realizing that the obstacle they are facing is actually the doorway to the next level of their life. The problem is never the problem, it's how you see it. Change your perspective, and the obstacle turns into opportunity. When you hit a wall, don't say, "Why me?" Instead, say, "What is this trying to teach me?" Every obstacle carries a message. It might be telling you to develop more patience, to learn a new skill, or to change your strategy. It's feedback, not failure. The ones who win in life are those who listen to what the obstacles are saying and adjust accordingly. They don't complain about the wind, they learn to sail. Think about any successful person you admire. They all faced obstacles that could have stopped them, but they didn't treat obstacles as signals to quit. They treated them as signals to rise. Rohn once said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." Every challenge is your invitation to get better. Better thinking, better habits, better discipline, better spirit. Obstacles call you to grow into the kind of person who can handle the success you're asking for. You see, success without struggle is fragile. It fades fast because it wasn't earned through growth. The struggle is what gives success its value. It's the long nights, the failures, the doubts, the persistence. Those are the chapters that make the story worth reading. The person who learns to embrace the obstacle as a friend, not a foe, becomes unstoppable. Because when you stop fearing challenges, you start mastering life. Sometimes the obstacle isn't outside of you. It's inside. The biggest barriers are often invisible fear, procrastination, excuses, low self-belief. These are the inner walls that block more dreams than any real-world difficulty. To overcome them, you must wage an inner battle daily. Replace fear with faith. Replace excuses with action. Replace doubt with discipline. The moment you conquer the enemy within, the outside obstacles lose their power. Remember, obstacles don't appear to punish you. They appear to prepare you. They prepare you for the weight of the blessings you've been asking for. They test your patience, sharpen your vision, and deepen your resolve. Every time you push through, you expand your capacity. You become stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling what comes next. So, the next time life throws a wall in your path, don't stop. Climb it. Go around it. Dig under it if you must. But whatever you do, don't turn back. Because the moment you overcome one obstacle, you gain the confidence to face the next one. And over time, you realize that obstacles were never blocking your path. They were your path. They were sculpting you into the person capable of achieving the dream you started with. The truth is simple. Every goal worth having will test you before it blesses you. The obstacles are part of the plan, and the plan is perfect. It's shaping you into someone stronger than the struggle, wiser than the worry, and tougher than the test. Don't curse the challenge. Thank it. It's proof that you're on the right path, proof that you're growing, proof that you're alive and becoming everything you were meant to be. The real reward of setting and achieving goals isn't the money you make, the car you drive, or the applause you receive. The true reward is the person you become in the process, because success is not something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become. When you set a goal that stretches you beyond your comfort zone, you invite growth into your life. You begin to see what you're truly capable of. And that's where transformation begins. Most people set goals that are too small. They aim for what feels safe, what feels familiar, what they already know they can do. But comfort never built strength. A goal that doesn't challenge you will never change you. You see, a small goal only demands what you already have, but a big goal, one that stretches you, demands who you can become. That's why great goals aren't measured by their size, but by their capacity to make you grow. When you set a goal that truly stretches you, you begin to operate at a higher level of awareness. You start to think differently, plan differently, act differently. You begin to use more your potential. You wake up with purpose instead of pressure, because now your days have direction. Growth becomes your daily assignment. Every decision, every discipline, every small step forward becomes a brick in the foundation of your future self. But the path to becoming isn't always easy. Growth requires friction. The challenges you face along the way are not there to stop you. They're there to shape you. Every obstacle reveals your strength. Every failure teaches humility, and every setback builds your resilience. Without struggle, there can be no progress. Just as muscles need resistance to grow stronger, your character needs challenges to evolve. So when things get hard, remember, this is the stretching part. This is where you are being prepared for the reward that isn't seen, but deeply felt. The process of pursuing a big goal also sharpens your clarity. You can't hit a target you can't see. That's why it's important to write your goals down. Writing gives your dreams structure. It turns invisible desires into visible direction. When you put your goals on paper, you're not just making a list, you're making a declaration. You're saying, I'm ready to grow into the person who can make this real. Each written goal becomes a mirror that reflects your potential. And then comes the daily grind, the consistent action, the discipline, the persistence. That's where the magic happens. You don't transform overnight, you transform daily. It's the habits you form while pursuing your goals that build the person you become. You start to trust yourself more. You begin to realize that progress isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Every small win becomes proof that you can create bigger ones. Along the way, you'll notice something beautiful. The goal starts to matter less than the growth. The finish line is exciting, yes, but what really fulfills you is knowing that you didn't give up when you could have, that you showed up when it was hard, that you became stronger, wiser, and more disciplined than before. You begin to understand that success is not about the destination. It's about the evolution that happens during the journey. That's why the real reward of goal setting is not what you get, but who you become. You may lose money, miss opportunities, or fail a few times, but you'll never lose the character you build. That character, your courage, your confidence, your faith becomes the foundation for every future goal. Once you've grown on the inside, the outside world has no choice but to reflect it. So, as you set your next goal, don't ask, what will I get? Ask instead, who will I become by pursuing this? Because when you focus on becoming more, achieving more becomes inevitable. Stretch yourself. Dream bigger. Take on the challenge that makes you slightly nervous, because that's a sign you're growing. In the end, success is not about trophies, titles, or applause. It's about transformation. It's about becoming the person who can live, lead, and love at a higher level. When you reach that point, when you look back and realize how far you've come, you'll know the truth Jim Rohn spoke for decades. The ultimate reward is not the goal itself, but the person you became while chasing it.